Welcome to the Mukilteo Football Show. My name is Miles.
And my name is Kirk. Good Thursday night football again.
Thursday night football. Baltimore Ravens defeat the Cincinnati Bengals 35-34 in a classic.
Ooh.
We're invested. Kirk's a huge Bengals,
I'm all for
fan.
Joe Burrow and the Bengals, and just another letdown. Another close defeat to the Ravens.
You were really getting into it.
Oh, man.
And you were saying we need to. Why can't we? Like you were one of the Bengals during this game.
Oh, yeah. And I have to be, because Kathleen likes the Ravens, and she's sitting there not even watching the game. And she's like, oh, did we take the lead again? God, come on.
Oh, what a wild game. So much to talk about. So much offense, so much fireworks. Just like their Week 5 matchup, we've got instant classics.
Yep.
Just everyone take a moment to just appreciate what you're watching. Prime Joe Burrow, prime Lamar Jackson, 2 times a year.
Yep.
Just think about if you could go back to when Dan Marino and Jim Kelly faced off 2 times a year.
Yeah.
Just think about what you would give to just have a primetime game coming up with those battles. That's what we're living right now. It's cool.
That's what we're watching.
Lamar and Burrow.
This rivalry is heating up.
It's heating.
Big time.
It's heating.
Man, I love it.
It'd be nice if the Bengals could have got this win.
I know. Two heartbreaking losses to the Ravens.
Heartbreaking. Yeah, the other one was in overtime as well.
The botched to hold. Yeah.
Yeah, they would have won
it. Yeah. Man, oh man. But this game, there's lots to talk about.
Yes. And they wanted to avoid that overtime fate this time, so they went for 2 at the very end. They scored the touchdown, made it 35-34. Instead of the extra point, they line up for that 2-point conversion. And that's really all people are talking about on the internet right now is the way that 2-point conversion went.
Yep.
It's over to the right to Hudson or whatever.
Yeah, I know, right? This second tight end.
Yeah. There was some brutal holding on Mike Gesicki on the left.
Yeah.
And then there was a blow to the face, it appeared, on Joe Burrow. Yep. So I'm assuming you're with Bengals fans and just being pissed about this.
Gotta call one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, the blow to the head because he didn't grab the mask, I'm not too upset with, because if I was on the other side, I'd be like, you know what? I don't want that called. Yeah. Quarterbacks get the benefit of the doubt too much. If he grabs the mask and turns the head, sure. But
he didn't. Yeah,
he hits
a graze.
Yeah. But the tackle on Gesicki is definitely a penalty. You got to call one of them.
I feel like the refs would have called it if Burrow threw that way.
Or
looked that way. He didn't look that way.
I know.
And that's like maybe that shouldn't be how you ref the games and stuff like that, but it's kind of like what we ask for as fans. If it's away from the play.
Yeah, have the penalty where the play is.
Yeah. If the Banks, I personally don't mind the no calls.
Yeah. I'm more just, as upset as I am, like I want the penalty to be called because I want the Bengals to win, and I am Homer in this thing.
Yep.
The play call itself should have gone to Chase.
Yes.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, especially we're like 45 seconds after he made one of the they had one of the great connections I've ever seen.
He's killing it. He's got 3 touchdowns on the game, and he's got one-on-one coverage on the top, and we don't even look his way.
Yeah.
Didn't even look the way. So
there's that we again.
I know.
You're wearing a Seahawks shirt right now, Kirk.
I'm buying a Burrow jersey. I'm doing it.
You should.
I am. I'm gonna do it.
You kind of earned that because you've been Mr. Burrow the whole time. Like through his whole career, you've been pumped about Burrow.
I've been pumped, dude, ever since he started winning some games and him and Chase had that connection.
Yeah.
His first year, that's forgettable. But
yeah.
I've been all for him. LSU, he came out of nowhere. He's leading that team. Yeah. I love the Bengals. He's my next I love Peyton Manning, so he's my new Peyton Manning guy.
Nice. I'm disappointed in the sense that Burrow to Chase touchdown that gave them the 2-point conversion now goes down as more of a footnote than anything, because that was one of the most aesthetically pleasing.
Seriously,
like the way Burrow just touch past it over, like perfectly over 3 Ravens. Chase is on the back line. He still has to jump as high as he can to get it.
Dwight Clark-ish.
It looked Dwight Clark, 81 NFC championship. I'm look forward to see if anybody was at that angle. Because
see how high he
broadcast was a little bit diagonal. Let's see if any of the Bengals or Ravens team staff photographers got a photo from that angle. But God, it was so beautiful.
Just enough over the defenders and just low enough for Chase to actually go get it. I mean, and I think that was a third down, I think. It might have been a second down, but it's end of the game. That is so clutch. Just fantastic way. The 2-point conversion could have really just put it over the top.
Yeah.
But like you said, it goes down as a footnote.
Yeah, it does. It was a third down, by the way. So
man, so clutch.
That was amazing.
Oh.
The touchdown that the Ravens got to complete the comeback was also very picturesque. That was Lamar rolling left, and he pumps, and he kind of does the Jordan hold.
Oh, he holds the follow through.
Yeah, he holds the follow through to Rashad Bateman. Yep. That's what you do when it's Rashad Bateman, because I almost think like you're like, this guy going to drop it. He just dropped a touchdown the play before.
The very same play. Yeah, right.
So that one, I mean, both of those things will be on the Amazon and really the NFL intro packages for a while. The Chase touchdown, toe tapper at the end, and Lamar's just flick of the wrist.
Just holding it.
Hold it for Bateman.
Man.
Amazing plays, wonderful ending to this game.
Just back and forth.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, end of the middle of the third, that's when this game really took off.
Right. Yeah, because the Bengals were kind of walking away with it here. They were the defense was stuffing Henry. They weren't even really running Henry.
Not really.
The Bengals defense was just kind of stifling the Ravens. A lot of short possessions. Meanwhile, they had the big drives.
Yeah.
That's classic Joe Burrow. Take up the game with some big drives.
Yeah, it's time of possession. Let the defense rest.
Yeah. It was 21-7 with like 4 minutes left in the third quarter.
Ooh.
Okay.
Man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so that Chase Brown fumble, that happened with 2 minutes left.
2 minutes
in the third quarter.
21-7 at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Man.
Yeah, so then the Ravens, really the comeback for the Ravens was quick, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like they drove like 92 yards and like 70 yards.
Yeah, they got the
one off the Brown fumble, but then they got the ball back. They drove huge, like 9-10 yards of play, just chunk after chunk after chunk, and they go. They tie the game, or you think they're going to tie the game up, right? 21-21, but Justin Tucker shanks it to the left.
Which I loved, by the way. That was fantastic.
And then another play that will probably be a little bit of a footnote, but the Bengals, now they're only up by 1, 1st and 10, and Joe Burrow just fires a deep 70-yard touchdown to Jamar Chase. Ravens, guard Jamar Chase.
Seriously, right? Oh, that was the answer to the other big play that the Ravens had.
Oh, yeah, the 80-yard.
Whoever that guy is.
Okay.
They traded for
Wallace.
Deontay Johnson.
Okay. Oh, my gosh.
Instead, they throw it to Wallace.
So much happened here, yeah. So Wallace got that, like, 87-yard
touchdown toe tapper down the sideline.
So that was an amazing play. Tucker misses the field goal.
Yeah.
Chase comes in and
immediate bomb,
70-yard touchdown. That was an exciting time of this game and not the most exciting part of the game. Right? That shows you how good this game was.
Right.
On Amazon Prime.
And just back and forth. I mean, offenses were in control at this point in the game.
Burrow ends with 428 yards and 4 touchdowns, no interceptions.
God. And he lost.
Actually, it was 394 and 5 touchdowns in week 5 against the Ravens. So Joe Burrow, in 2 losses to the Ravens, has 820 yards and 9 touchdowns.
And 2 losses. That's unacceptable.
Do you want to hear Jamar Chase's stats across those 2 games?
Because he killed it this game. I know that.
In this game, he has 264 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. 11 catches. He had 200 yards in the other game, too. He has a total of 457 and 5.
And 2 losses.
How? So this was not Burrow and Chase's fault. This was Big Lou and the Bengals defense just breaking down. Why did the Ravens keep scoring touchdowns in the second half over and over and over again?
Yeah, and it wasn't Derrick Henry. It was Lamar Jackson all the way. Like, just hitting anybody that was open. Hitting Wallace. Whoever the hell Wallace is. You traded for Deontay Johnson, didn't even see him on the field.
He's working his way in.
And Wallace, practice squad man. Getting the big plays.
Honestly, I do not know Wallace. Tylan Wallace.
The name, it came out of nowhere. But, I mean, you can tell second half, there was no pressure really on Lamar. Mm-hmm. If he needed to scramble to buy a little more time, it was easy.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't really anything that he had to, like, especially do. He just had all day to figure out who he wanted to throw it to.
Yep.
He had a good one to Mark Andrews. I think we forgot that touchdown.
Yeah,
just laid it right over the top.
It's like a fire hose. It's just so much.
My God, what a game.
Yeah, Lamar had 4 touchdowns in this game, 4 touchdowns in the last game. Just classics between the Ravens and Bengals here.
And
now,
you just got to blame the Bengals defense.
You do.
Really, I mean, the Ravens defense is shaky. Mm-hmm. The Bengals offense is good, but Bengals defense, man, letting them down again.
Yeah, it was their fault. Now let's turn to the rest of the season here. Bengals fall to 4-6. Ravens up to 7-3.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing that had they gotten that 2-point conversion, the Bengals would have only been 1 game behind the Ravens. This is a clear pivot point for the entire season. Do you think the Bengals are going to make the AFC playoffs?
Oh.
Or do you think that this killed them?
I'm a little more shaky now.
Yeah.
These games are now becoming must-wins. Mm-hmm. You get to loss number 6, you basically can only afford 1 or 2 more losses. 2, and you're like going tiebreaker mode. Mm-hmm. So they only get 1 more loss, and it's beginning in November.
Yeah.
They still got to play Pittsburgh.
Twice.
They still got the Chargers next week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is... It's hurting my soul a little bit because Burrow's putting up career numbers and he's not getting wins out of it. Because I love the Bengals, I still think they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, and I too this is Joe Burrow only has really 1 or 2 matchups where he is not the best quarterback in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so he's 4-6, but he doesn't have to play Lamar anymore, and he doesn't have to play Mahomes anymore.
Yeah,
I'll take Burrow over Russell Wilson 1,000 times. So I feel like the Bengals have that advantage in the Pittsburgh game. They also have games against pretty cupcakes. They got some Titans, some Browns. They got Cowboys on the docket,
and they get the Broncos if it comes down to a tiebreaker. Broncos are late.
Yeah. Oh, so that could be big.
That'd be huge. And that's a 7 seed you don't want to play. Yeah. You would much rather see the Broncos than the Bengals.
I'm not throwing away the Bengals. I think if they were 6-4 but still had to play the Ravens twice and the Chiefs once,
be more worried.
I'd be more worried about that than 4-6 having those games done. Woo. Mukilteo Football Show. The show is football, everything, NFL history, legacy, ups and downs of a season. We got shows Sunday, Monday, Thursday after the primetime games. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Week 10.
Whew, started that with a bang.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a great game. Both the games. Week 5, the 41-38 game. This one, 35-34 game. Bengals, Ravens.
Woo! It's been good. Thursday night's been heating up, too. I mean, we've had some good games here.
And we got a good one next week, which is Commanders-Eagles.
Yes.
So,
all right. Way to go, Amazon.
Al Michaels pulled some sway somewhere. All right, let's talk about Week 10. We picked some games out. I don't know that we got a game even as marquee hype as Lamar versus Burrow, but...
Yeah, not this week.
We do have... I wanted to start with an interesting little game. Carolina versus the Giants in Germany.
Sorry, Germany.
Dingle Jones and Bryce Young take their talents to Munich. Yeah, sorry, Germany. Yeah. I mean, what did they ever do to us?
Right? They're such a good country, just throughout history.
Yeah.
They've been so kind to America.
Why have we've betrayed them in this case?
This is going to be an ugly game.
Yeah.
Lots of field goals.
No, in seriousness, I think one of the good games to preview is actually Commanders-Steelers.
Yeah.
Washington Commanders traveling up to Pennsylvania to Pittsburgh. Commanders are 7-2. Steelers are 6-2. A matchup of really the 2 most unexpectedly impressive teams this year.
Yeah, by far. Nobody was picking Pittsburgh to be running away right now at 7-2, especially with the quarterback controversy coming in.
Pittsburgh 6-2.
Yeah.
Washington 7-2, yeah.
And then, Daniels has been playing his butt off. So, this is a great non-conference matchup, a sneakily good one.
Yeah.
And they both need it. With the Ravens catching up to you and the Eagles catching up to the Commanders, I mean, this is a game.
Yeah, they both couldn't have more scary pursuers.
Oh yeah,
you could not have a scarier pursuer than the Ravens or the Eagles.
If the Bills were playing somebody tough in non-conference games, they'd be like, whatever. We're 4 games up in the East.
This game's huge for both. Washington is road favorites by 3.
Wow.
What in the heck?
Wow. The Daniels hype has gone a little too far, maybe.
I got to check that real quick.
Yeah.
Make sure I know what I'm talking about.
Ooh.
That's crazy.
I mean, I'll start with Washington here.
Okay,
and I'll mention the trade. They traded for Marshawn Lattimore, which I think is a good trade for them.
I think so.
He comes in. He's probably their best corner now, and he's a veteran. Maybe he can bring a little veteran presence down the stretch. He's seen some playoff games.
Yeah.
So I like that trade for for the team chemistry that they're building there. So that's a nice little fit. They needed some defensive help. So happy with that.
He might not even play though. He got a hamstring.
Classic. Oh, that's so bad.
Yeah, so it is Commanders by 3. I guess this is kind of insulting to Pittsburgh is what I take this as.
Oh, yeah.
There is no more solid team than Pittsburgh that I can imagine right now. Like, they're not going to shock and awe, but you cannot count on them to disappoint, especially at home. I would have thought that they would be favored in this game.
Yeah.
Like, that defense is so talented.
It's stout, man.
Yeah, to forget about Russell Wilson. He's just manning a medium offense. That's all he needs to do. And he's got Harris and Pickens to do it. He's, of course, a veteran quarterback. He's exactly where he needs to be.
Oh, yeah.
And Washington, I think you're right. This is hype.
Yeah.
Like, I would take the sturdiness over the hype here. I would take Pittsburgh to win this game, personally.
There's people going too far with this. They're like, oh, Daniel's maybe a MVP runner-up or something like that. And I'm like, whoa, hold the phone, man. Like, he's a rookie. He's made it halfway through the season. Yeah.
This is crazy how we do this. Like, look at how we think about C.J. Stroud right now. Right. Like, all of a sudden, we're off of him. Go back to week 10 last year when we were talking about C.J. Stroud. Is like, is he? I mean, he might be Fran Tarkenton. He might be Fran Tarkenton plus Dan Marino. Like, we got to dial it back here.
Right. But there's just something about week-to-week football, man. You build up those narratives.
So I would do it.
Yeah. I still I hope Brian Robinson's back because the Commanders need that ground game.
Yeah.
Eckler's clearly not the guy, but he's a good, 1-2 to go with Robinson, so they're going to need that ground game. I got to say, I'm just so happy for McLaurin, who has gone through quarterback after quarterback, bad quarterback after quarterback,
to be clear,
and finally has a guy that's throwing him the ball in the red zone, getting him touchdowns, throwing bombs to him. Like, Scary Terry's back to being Scary Terry. He's earning the nickname now.
He's paid his karma for sure.
Oh, yeah.
To get this point.
Yeah.
I really like, and too, I mean, I know the Commanders are getting the hype, and, I'm kind of trying to put some water on that. But I'm also impressed just with the way they spread the ball. You mentioned Eckler, but they have, quite a few receivers who are over 250 yards, right now.
Oh, yeah.
Plus Brian Robinson, who's running the ball well. So
they're spreading the wealth. I like that. And Dan Quinn's done a great job with this team. Head coach, you forget that he coached in a Super Bowl. Was up 28-3.
Yeah, because that's always Kyle Shanahan's fault. But it's Dan Quinn who was the head coach.
It was Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
So he knows how to coach football.
Yeah.
Dallas could use him right now.
So are you are you going Commanders?
I think, you know what? I'm kind of with you on Pittsburgh being sturdy. TJ Watt, Fitzpatrick is the safety, and just Wilson hits enough big plays. And Najee Harris has been running his butt off. And the fact that it's in Pittsburgh, they're disrespected. I mean, I kind of just think Pittsburgh's going to sneak this one out, make the Commanders look like they have a rookie quarterback a little bit throughout the game.
And if the Commanders pull it out, then they've earned what they're getting here.
Yeah.
And we'll eat our words.
And it's a little bit of a trap game for the Commanders here. They got the Eagles on Thursday night, right after that. So,
Is that in Philadelphia? Do they get to stay in Pennsylvania during this time, playing both the Pennsylvania teams?
I don't know. I didn't check who was where, but yeah. I think I'm going Steelers, though.
Okay.
Steelers to defend the house. Mike Tomlin gives a thumbs up to another camera.
You love that.
It's so awesome.
The Jim Halpert moment.
Right?
All right, let's go.
Who are you going with?
Oh, I'm Steelers as well.
Okay.
I said it earlier.
Okay, I missed it, yeah.
I just don't. Let's not give all that credit to Commanders yet.
Yeah.
All right, Denver at Kansas City. I put this one in here, but maybe we can be quick. I didn't realize the line was so Chiefs. Chiefs by 7.5, which is pretty crazy. I mean, I guess it is in Kansas City, which is worse for Denver and Bo Nix, the fraud.
Yeah, but Kansas City hasn't won a game by more than 7 for a while, so maybe that line's a little too much.
Yeah, I guess let's say if we're going to take the line or not, because I'm assuming we're both picking the Chiefs to win this game.
Yeah.
Though I would have, I was trying to look back if the Chiefs still had a winning streak on the Broncos. I couldn't remember like if they won last year.
Yeah.
The Broncos did beat the Chiefs in week 8
they
last
ended that
year.
Like 15 in a row or whatever it was.
16 in a row.
Yeah.
So if it had been 16 in a row or 17 in a row wins by the Chiefs, and they bring in this 14 game winning streak,
right.
current winning streak, I would have told you for absolute sure they're losing to the Broncos, because that's football.
That's football, right?
That's football. But now that the Broncos already expended that energy by winning last year, now I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm not a Bo Nix believer. Neither are you.
No, I just called him the Bo Nix fraud casually.
Like, I've seen so many overthrows.
Yeah.
The way they got thumped by the Ravens last week was all you really needed to see.
Yeah.
That this team is a fraud right now.
If Bo Nix tweaks his ankle or gets any of the normal bumps and bruises that a quarterback gets in an NFL season, this offense will not move, because it is only moving because he's in a full like, deer in headlights scrambles. That's what's propelling this offense right now.
Oh, yeah.
Is that he is getting those scrambles, and it's just not going to happen. Even at Oregon, when he played there, for 2 years, after he'd already done 4 years at Auburn, by the way, throwing that out there.
Right.
I just think he doesn't see down the field.
No. And he's not accurate.
Yeah.
I've seen this guy miss open receivers time after time.
It just seems like the Chiefs defense is like built to churn this guy into 1,000 pieces.
Oh, yeah.
It's
going to be hard for them to get first downs.
I don't even
much less touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't even care about Knicks versus Mahomes. There's not even a conversation. What is Knicks going to do to Chris Jones and this Kansas City defense, Steve Spagnuolo defense?
Right.
I think they might seriously shut them out,
They
especially
might,
at Arrowhead.
They haven't had a shutout in a while, and they haven't had a blowout in a while. So this might be a good statement for the Chiefs here. But we haven't talked Chiefs too much on this podcast because the games haven't been up to the hype. But I love the Hopkins trade. It looked great last week. Giving him a legit number one receiver, and Hopkins, man, this is the best quarterback he's ever had.
Seriously, that throw that he threw down the seam, that Hopkins got tackled like the 2-yard line or whatever.
Yeah.
When he threw that, I just kind of assumed it was incomplete.
Yeah.
I forgot about Hopkins.
There's
I
a guy that
what
can
Hopkins
catch that.
really was.
Yeah.
That raised my eyebrows more than anything else I've seen from the Chiefs this year. I went, oh.
Yeah. And
wow.
Hopkins looks good. They are just using Kareem Hunt now until Pacheco's back. I love the Hunt usage.
Turn and burn.
Just completely just run this guy into the ground. You'll get Pacheco back when it matters. But just let Hunt get as many carries as he wants. They had a drive last Monday that was just Kareem Hunt eight times.
Yeah, it was one of the late drives too. That was a great drive.
I like that. And, Kelsey's starting to get, seems like he wasn't really in shape in the beginning of the year. So.
I honestly think that. I think that too. Yeah, he's lost a step though. He does not. He looks more like the classic tight end rather than the elite
guy that he was.
Receiving tight end that he was.
He's old Gronk right now.
All right.
Yeah.
So I guess we're both taking Chiefs, or how about Chiefs to cover that 7.5? What do you think?
I think the hatred of Bo Nix that I have, I'm hoping for the shutout. Okay. I want a shutout. I want a Kansas City beat the crap out of the Broncos and get ready to go play the Bills. I think that's who they get next.
Whew. Yeah, that's fun.
Right?
That'll be a good game.
Ooh, baby.
We haven't really talked a lot of Chiefs.
No.
It's funny. I feel like it kind of goes back to what we said.
For an undefeated team, back-to-back champs. We just
it
they're under the radar.
They're under the radar. Well, it's like, who cares in 2005 what the Patriots were doing in Week 10? We know this season is just absolutely defined by what the Chiefs do in the playoffs. So who even cares? What's even the point of giving opinions about the Chiefs from Week 8 to 16? Who cares?
Yeah, it's just like, are they going to win the division? It looks that way right now.
Yeah.
So that's all we needed to know.
Yeah, we'll check in and we'll get the big hype when they've got their playoff games.
Yeah. But Chiefs by a long shot.
Okay,
I'm taking the Broncos.
I'm taking the Chiefs to cover as well. Okay, we did the same for both of those. So let's try to mix it up here. Sunday Night Football, good game. Detroit Lions going into the Houston, whatever stadium that is, NRG Stadium.
I don't know.
I've never said the stadium in any of the other intros. Why? Why am I doing it this time?
This time for the one that we don't know.
Detroit Lions going to the stadium whom hosts the Houston Texans.
Yeah, something.com. I hate that there's stadiums that are called .coms now.
Don't even. Well, Arrowhead Stadium's not even Arrowhead. It's like GEHA. I don't know if you're supposed to say Geha or Gia or you're supposed to say GEHA. I don't know.
Damn it. Come on, stadium people.
This is an interesting game, Lions at Texans, especially on paper, because this is Goff versus Stroud, who, to me, couldn't be more different in their current circumstances.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Goff has everything that a quarterback could want. A great offensive line, 3 to 4 elite weapons, and he's doing great with it. But C.J. Stroud has none of that.
Bad offensive line. His weapons are hurt.
Diggs is gone. Tank Dell's just not quite back. Nico Collins expected to be back. They haven't pulled him off IR yet, but he could be back. But he also, what kind of shape is he in after resting a hamstring?
I think they said 4 to 6 weeks, and we're like in that margin. So I don't know. Yeah.
And these are two defenses that, especially if the Texans have Nico, I could see a shootout here because these two defenses are shaky.
Oh, yeah.
At best.
Yeah. And Lions have been doing pretty good since Hutch went out. They've been holding their own, but there's always a Lion game where you're like, oh, whoops, that's what the secondary really looks like.
Yeah. There's been a few this year.
There's been moments where I'm just like, ooh, okay, this team is beatable. You can score on these guys.
I rewatched the highlights of Lions-Packers.
Okay.
And I'm not as impressed with the Lions' victory as I was on Sunday or even Tuesday. I just feel like most of it can come down to Love missing that touchdown on the first drive.
Yeah.
Packers held the ball 7.5 minutes of the game, and they had a wide open, a wheel route there, or whatever that is, right in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
That was going to be a touchdown. It wasn't. Then Love throws a crazy interception.
God, that was bad.
There were also a lot of good throws that the Packers dropped.
Yeah. Get Dontavian Wicks off the field, dude. The guy can't catch.
Yeah. And the Lions only won that by 10. I feel like, I don't know if they really roll that game back again. I don't know the Lions win it.
Yeah.
So I'm a little less impressed. I'm not, the Lions aren't the juggernaut yet. That defense still has questions to me.
Yeah, if Jordan Love doesn't make that stupid mistake, that is far closer, far tighter in the wet Lambeau weather. Yeah. That game should have been much closer than it looks.
But the narrative right now is that the Lions are going to destroy the Texans. They've proven that nothing matters. Elements don't matter. They're going to roll over these people. I feel like they could have lost that game so easily, and we'd be talking about this game this Sunday night game so much differently.
Oh, yeah.
Let me check the line for you.
I think, you really got to shut down either Montgomery or Gibbs. You have to get one of them off the field. Their type of run isn't effective. Mm-hmm. Don't let Montgomery get 5 yards of carry up the middle because he kind of pounds you early on. Gibbs doesn't really come in till second quarter. You can shut down Montgomery early and force Goff into long third downs. That could slow down some of this Lions up early kind of stuff. Yeah. Then let the game play out.
And how do you do that? Just scoring early, basically?
I think you just play hard on the run early in the game.
Okay.
Because I don't think people are like, oh, Jared Goff's completing everything. Well, he's not throwing passes because they just run in the whole first half. Yeah. He only gets 10 passes in the first half.
Call the bluff.
It's mostly in the second quarter. So it's
I agree.
Come at home, stack the box, shut down Montgomery, make Jared Goff throw long third down completions, and you might be able to hang in the game a bit. There is ways to beat the Lions. They're not unbeatable.
Yeah, I completely.
Everybody's treating this team like they're the greatest team that's ever played.
Yeah, we're both pushing back on the same thing. The Texans may not be the team to do it, though.
I know, right?
I mean, I've been trying to get on board with the Texans defense, but I just can't. I feel like every game that shows that they do good statistically is kind of explained by the other team. I'm not seeing, and I know he's D'Amico Ryans. I know he's a coordinator. I know he's had a great year last year, but the defense hasn't really shown the ability to stop anybody when it matters.
Yeah.
That Rams game, that was painful.
That was hard to watch.
The Texans, man,
they've been very bend, don't break, but they have been breaking recently.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And to the Rams, who usually have red zone problems.
Yeah, and they did the same thing with the Jets last Thursday night. Mm-hmm. All the second half, they just couldn't keep it together. They Garrett Wilson makes that catch, had another one-handed catch. Both of those, I think, are in the red zone. So I do like D'Amico Ryans. I think the defense needs to get, hopefully they're sparked by being at home here. They can get something going.
Yeah.
Because they have to. Because the offensive line for the Texans is just Oh, man, it's bad.
It's very bad.
It's ugly. It's like one of the worst in the league.
But I meant Jets when I was saying Rams.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was trying to talk about last Thursday night.
Yeah.
The offensive line is really bad. And, like, it's penalties, too. Like, it's not just that they're giving up pressure, but it's like every time it's 1st and 10, it's then 1st and 15 or 1st and 20. Like, the Texans, I mean, they're just... I don't know. I'm not liking what I'm seeing out there.
Yeah. I hope Nico comes back because Joe Mixon's putting in the work. And right now, he's about the only effective guy on that team. C.J. Stroud needs somebody to throw to.
Yeah. If you get Nico back, if you get Mixon running well, and then that all helps C.J. Stroud, they could compete in this game. But
that's going to open up Tank Dell. Dalton Schultz has got to open up a little bit here. Like, he hasn't been, doing his workload yet. But I still trust C.J. Stroud. I'm not done on him. Like, some people are just like, sophomore slump, he's done for the year. It's, I'm just like, it's halfway through the season and everybody's been hurt. Like, he's still a good quarterback.
Yeah. And I mean, how do we know what we're seeing isn't just the offensive line? Like, he seems to be playing fine.
Yeah.
Like,
I've seen a couple like bad throws, but I've seen that from every quarterback in the league so far. So I don't know what everybody's so harped on him for. They're like, oh, he's turning the ball over. I'm like, well, he only threw 5 interceptions last year. Of course he was going to regress to the mean a little bit.
If we were picking teams just straight off, just like I would pick C.J. Stroud over Jared Goff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean,
we're
talking about circumstances that are the difference.
Yeah, you put Stroud on the Lions right now. Now we're talking unstoppable.
Nico has not really, he's not come off IR, he's not practiced at all, so
so he ain't coming back.
It's really not there.
Ooh, that's brutal.
Will Anderson also trending towards not playing, so
ouch.
Yeah, although I kind of thought, the Lions aren't invincible, they're not what you think they are. I wanted to pick the Texans, but there's not enough juice here. So I'm gonna still say Lions. They're favored by 3.5 on the road.
3.5 on the road. Wow. Okay. I'm surprised they're not favored by more, the hype they're getting. Yeah, I think I have to go Lions, but I don't think this is going to be a blowout like some people think it'll be.
Yeah.
The Lions have ran over some teams, but I think D'Amico Ryans has got a culture there as well in Houston that can compete and stay physical for 3 quarters.
Would you say they win by more than 3 points?
Lions?
Yeah.
I'll say no.
Okay, I'll say yes.
I'll say close game.
I'll say yes.
Close game.
Blowout.
55-10.
They did it to the Cowboys 3 weeks ago, right?
When the game gets away from you, it's tough to keep going with it.
I think the Lions are the best front-running team in the NFL right now. They're what the 49ers often are because they can run the ball at an elite level because of that offensive line.
Yeah. Yeah, that offensive line's why they're so damn good.
Man, they're good.
Man, it's good.
All right, let's go to Monday Night Football in what is a kind of an interesting little game here for me. The Miami Dolphins, who are 2-6, whose season is basically on the line here on Monday.
Yeah.
They have got to turn this around now with a 3-6 victory over an NFC contender. A spark to give you some confidence.
Yeah.
They could do what the Jets did last Thursday, which is become 3-6 after getting a quality win.
Yeah, sneak back in there.
Yeah. So they're on the line. They're playing and going to Los Angeles Rams, who don't have a buffer to really give. They're at 4-4. So they're in a better position, but they don't really have any urgency difference from the Dolphins because they're in a logjam with the 49ers and Cardinals.
They're battling for the division. They're still 2 games back from the wild card. The Dolphins win. They're only 2 games back of a wild card now.
I think NFC West is going to be a 1 playoff division.
I disagree with you on it.
Okay, check out our Tuesday episode midseason.
I see some collapses coming.
Okay.
But this is a big game. And the Dolphins with Tua haven't been playing awful. They've lost 2 games in a row by game-winning field goals. One of them from 61 yards from Bass.
Crazy kick, by the way.
Right?
That was into the wind.
Yeah.
From a quick kicker who missed an extra point and almost missed a second extra point in Buffalo.
Yeah. He's almost lost his job, and he nails that. So
you know what's funny is that was just the Bills just expended all of their kicking karma on that.
Oh, yeah.
Should have held off.
Gonna hurt them in the playoffs.
And what was the other one? Oh, Arizona?
Cardinals. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. So Dolphins, bad beats last 2.
2 in a row.
Wow.
And I like the rhythm starting to come back. A-Chain is looking legit.
Yeah, we were wrong about him.
Dude, A-Chain looks good. I didn't think he'd hold up. Like, I just didn't.
We both said, like, we knew Mostert was toast.
Yeah.
But we both said A-Chain would be just not able to carry the load.
Yeah, he didn't seem like he could do 3 downs in a row. And maybe he's not really playing that way right now, but his pass catching ability, and you always have to worry about Waddle and Hill. So him in the flat, just juking guys out, it's working pretty well. Obviously, Tua being the worst player on the offense. Yeah. So, I'm not a Tua fan. We're not Tua guys.
Yeah. He's like there's like a watch. He can absolutely work while all the gears are perfectly clicking together, and he can probably work better than most quarterbacks can in the timing area.
Yeah.
But that's it.
But when things go off, he has to make a second read.
He may be one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. Yeah. So that's our opinion of Tua.
Yeah. And I think the Dolphins, besides Tua having to be on point, is the lines, both sides, the battle of the trenches. Defensive line, offensive line is where the Dolphins are hurting bad now because they've invested so much in their quarterback and their receivers.
Yes.
They haven't invested anything in their defensive line or their offensive line.
Yeah.
And that's starting to show this year.
Yeah. And for the amount of money they are putting into Tua and the 2 receivers, they should be getting better production. We shouldn't be talking about timing and the need for perfect conditions. We should be talking about them carrying a roster to a winning record, or at least 500.
Yeah. I'm shocked that they paid Waddle because they're just like underusing him. Like they're just peppering Hill, they're peppering A-Chain, and Waddle just doesn't seem to get the same type of you can take over the game as well treatment.
Yeah, I agree.
Like he can get 10, 11 targets in a game and take over. I've seen it before Tua came in.
Yeah.
Like he can pull this off. Or before Hill came into the roster. Yeah. And then now it's Hill. It's like he gets all the targets. A-Chain gets all the targets. I've just used Waddle more this game. If you're going to win this thing, you have to go to that third option. And he's the dude, and he's a damn good receiver.
He's a great receiver.
Yeah.
See, this is partly why I like this game. We got Hill, we got Waddle, and on the other side, we got Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. There's a lot of fantasy relevance, but also like fun talent to watch on TV.
Yeah.
And the Rams, to me, are getting healthier.
At the right
time.
Not
to me. They are objectively getting healthier, getting a couple linemen back.
Yep.
Puka and Kupp are getting back in the swing of things. And Stafford's looking good. Doesn't look like he has 2 broken ankles and 4 fractured ribs, like his usual Week 10 routine.
That's usually how he looks by this point. Yeah.
I think the Dolphins are running into the Rams at the wrong time here.
I know. This is a tough game for them, man. Like,
but it's their season. I'm kind of into this Monday game.
I like it.
Yeah.
Because both teams need this game bad. Like Rams need it just as bad as the Dolphins do.
Yeah.
So both teams are going to be swinging punches. Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua got to be the best named duo wide receivers.
I agree.
Like, this is the best names. Like, how can you not get behind those guys? My little Cooper Kupp and my Puka Nacua. Like, it's fantastic. But Matthew Stafford not being hurt at this point in the season is huge. This guy's always banged up. He's got a shoulder problem. He's got a knee problem. He's got, ribs. Yep. Like, it's just like the fact that he's healthy at this point really, is really, really helpful for the Rams.
I agree.
This is going to be big for them.
This game is basically a pick'em. Rams favored by 1. And that's less than home field advantage normally is. So,
because LA's never a home field advantage for some reason. I don't know why.
Because it's Los Angeles. There's other things to do.
I guess so. Yeah, we got to make some vlogs.
Yeah. Oh, this is a tough one. Gosh,
I've been on the Rams coming into the mid-season.
Yeah,
so I think I might just stick with that. And the Dolphins get buried. I do expect a lot of points in this game. It's gonna be a fun Monday nighter.
Yeah. I'm going to go Dolphins here.
Okay.
I think if you got any game plan that you need to feature Tyreek Hill, this is the one. The season saver. And I think there's going to be... I'm not waiting for the Tyreek Hill big plays. Didn't really see him in either game. There were a few good plays, but big plays. I'm thinking this is a big Tyreek Hill game, and I'm hoping it's a classic type of game.
I think it's going to be a good Monday nighter.
Yeah.
I really do. The records don't look like it, but... And the Dolphins can't fall to 2-7 like the pack
they're
back
toast.
there. They don't belong there. So
they don't fit.
Yeah.
Something's different.
Get to 3-6, maybe win to 4-6, and all of a sudden you're talking maybe we can squeak in there. Maybe we can get some momentum. So this is a good game.
Make it interesting for us. the fans.
Right? I hate it when it's predictable. I love it coming down to weeks 16, 17, 18 and just watching the scenarios and the tiebreakers.
All right. The second half of the season has begun, but we'll continue.
We will continue.
On
Got a whole nother half.
All right, my name is Miles.
I'm Kirk. Go Bengals.
Good night.